Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Strange. I am a cartoonist, novelist, and filmmaker, and I'm here today to share with you my love of comic books. And today we're talking about The Dark Knight Returns, the seminal Frank Miller Batman comic book that changed it all. It changed everything. And my friend Dr. Ben is here today with me to talk about The Dark Knight Returns.
Put your dress back on. Come on. I'll take it off. I could. Didn't realize we were live. What's going on?
How's it going, Dr. Ben?
Good. Just testing out some new marketing for Thick Comics. This is
I see that.
Stanley J. Wabbit, and this one came out a little misprinted, but Van Piglet,
Yeah, I like it. It looks a little stylized there.
Yeah, they're
it's like something Charles Burns would do on his character. Just fucking draw lines through him.
and I love these 3D assets too. That's the thing.
Those 3D assets look fantastic on your.
That is what brings it all together. And look, she can. Where's her? I've got to trim this a little bit. There we go. So she's not always dressed as Van Piglet. When she's at the comic shop, she also has to dress up as the
comic shop with a 3D asset lounge, apparently, in the back. It doesn't look anything like a comic shop.
That's what we should put in. Get some 3D comic racks or something. Put them in there.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of 3D assets. You don't have to redraw it.
You're not committed to anything. You can
just drop it in, take it out.
However you want. Tell us where we can find all this madness at, Dr. Ben. We are comic book creators, Dr. Ben and I, and you can find Dr. Ben's stuff where?
drben.substack. I'll have I made these last year, I think, or the year before that. I did the paper dolls, but I'll put a new post up with them. That way people can download them if they're
Oh, absolutely.
Whoa. See, it's not indecent. He's got on underwear.
I was wondering if we were going to get Blue Rabbit Dong under the maid's outfit. Where can we find this stuff, Dr. Ben? I think I roboted out again.
A little bit. So drben.substack, I'll put a new post up with the Stanley paper cutout action figures.
And there's a link in the description to Dr. Ben's YouTube, which will lead you to the Substack.
Comic, you can download Stanley's Tales of Terror for free as a PDF. And then I've got currently been posting pages from the ongoing goth true crime comic Let Us Get, which Stanley makes a kind of brief appearance, just sort of like a news announcer, like the TV news. That's a good way to think of Stanley. So but that's not what people want to hear. They want to hear about
well, hold your horses there, buddy. Hold your horses there, buddy. I got my wares to hawk before we get into Dark Knight. I am also a cartoonist, and I have a link below in the description to my Patreon page where you can get you can actually download every one of my comic books, including Too Many Dabs, which is a story of Frankie, who challenges my characters Nixon and Hogan to a dab smoking contest and manages to blow his consciousness into the stratosphere, and meets Nixon and Hogan as machine elves who show him all the bad shit he's done throughout his life. So you can pick up Too Many Dabs issues 1 and 2 at the Patreon. You can also check out Wizard of Ganj, the origin story of Nixon and Hogan's famous Colombian smoke weed. That is available as well. And my newest book is called Count Kifula, a.k.a. Dracula in Strangeville. I'm finishing that up right now, and that will be available on October 1st on the Patreon. Count Kifula, a.k.a. Dracula in Strangeville, is the story of Count Dracula himself blowing into town, getting himself some hoes, and asking them to go get the best weed in Strangeville, which of course belongs to Nixon and Hogan. And so you can check out that. Will be dropping on October 1st. It's a great little Halloween season story for that ass.
Oh yeah.
And now back to The Dark Knight Returns.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about the book, Dr. Ben.
So what did we establish? This is from 1986. Came out as what, a 4-issue series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then has been printed basically constantly since then. But it was how do you say that? Before this, Batman was not like it's not gritty. He wasn't like I don't want to say that he wasn't serious, but I think that's kind of what it is that he wasn't really like a serious character. You know, like they had by the early 80s, what did people think of Batman? Was just the Adam West TV show. You know, there was,
and the Super Friends was also like a goofy cartoon.
Right. There was I mean, I think Neil Adams did some stuff, definitely. I mean, not there was like bad comics, but people just didn't think of it as anything like an adult. You know, you're not going to be reading Batman. It's just kid stuff. And that was with 86 came as we said, the Dark Knight Returns, and then also the comic, what was it called? Watchmen. Have you heard of that one?
that little comic Watchmen. Yeah, basically. So Frank Miller not started on, but he sort of hit gold with Daredevil Born Again, with this idea of this gritty deconstruction of the superhero, where we were gonna sort of discover the underbelly, the dark side of superheroes and what they go through, the psychological impact of crime fighting and things like that. And people loved it. People dug that Daredevil. And this is also Frank Miller and Klaus Janson, right?
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. Is like this. I've read a bunch of the Frank Miller and Janson stuff, like in trades. I got, I think as far as like actually having any, this is I just have this one issue where it's him with Janson drawing, and like I love Klaus Janson's stuff. That's what I want to go over that other one, that Gothic with him and Grant Morrison sometime.
Oh, for sure.
But,
sure.
But yeah, Klaus Janson in here.
As long as we don't get bullied to death by the comics industry, we'll have plenty of time to talk about all the comics we want, right?
Until then,
stay tuned for the next episode. So that was, hang on, let's go back a little bit. So that Daredevil is Miller on the writing, but Klaus Janson on everything else. Penciling, writing. Penciling, inking, and
yeah, it says colors. Janson's also doing the colors.
Okay, so that's all Janson as far as scripter, storyteller for Miller. Janson is pencil, inks, colors with Rosen. Who's Rosen?
I'm not really sure.
Michael Rosen. What is? I don't know his first name.
Maybe.
So then when we move over to Dark Knight Returns, is it the same setup, or how does the breakdown happen here?
I'm not sure if it states it like explicitly, but it's like Frank Miller doing like the pencils, outlines, and then like Klaus Janson.
That fucking cricket's still in your house, Dr. Ben.
Is he? Has he back?
I hear him.
Oh, geez, he is. I seriously have not heard him all day, but it could be. It could be that you become accustomed to like noises like that going off,
like black people and smoke detectors.
Right. Well, like I thought that was the funniest thing because like I looked at like a bunch of my videos, like all my videos, I'd all be like sitting there and hear it in the background, and I'm just sitting completely oblivious, just like. And I had somebody on the phone like, "Can you hear that?" And I'm like, "Hear what?" And they're like that beep, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I guess I don't know." Like,
So this is Miller on the layouts and pencils and writing, Jansen on the inks, and who's coloring?
I think it's that Lynn Varley. Yeah, that Lynn Varley, the same one that does the second one.
But
You
she's
said you
not.
didn't. You
But
didn't
she's
care for
not
the
coloring
second.
it like a R word. This is colored
Well,
fine. This is looks
right.
good.
Well, there's a reason for all of these things. That's what I'm
Tell me.
saying. Like this is
Tell me.
this is Batman. This is an older Batman, right? This is him.
Right.
Like
What
look
did you
at
say?
him.
He's like in his 60s, late 50s.
60s, late 60s, maybe almost. I could almost see like almost 70s. Makes me think of if
He's
you ever looked at.
he's a little heavy, like in the muscles for a 70-year-old, but maybe I'll buy it if he's on the HGH.
Yeah, yeah, he's on the stuff for sure. But if you ever look up Jack LaLanne, he was like an old bodybuilder, and he was like in his 70s and 80s, and he was still,
Is he still jacked?
yeah, he was
Okay.
just like, and like running around, swimming, pulling boats with his teeth, and
Okay. Probably on all kinds of gear, though, I'm sure. Not
I
natural.
don't think he was like some sort of like naturalist kind
Well, they
of,
all say they are. Rice and chicken, lots of
right?
exercise,
Yeah,
vitamins and prayers. They all
was
say
that
that.
that Liverman guy that just came out where he was all
Liver King.
just eating just
There's an
bloody raw organs and meat.
there's an MMA fighter named Alistair Overeem that was seriously fighting at like 170, and then he disappeared for a while, and he came back out at like 205, and he's just fucking jacked. And he's like, the secret is I eat horse meat, and of course he was all geared up. He got caught taking steroids, which is fine. I mean, it's just fine. I don't care about that. Like horse meat all day. Get as big as you want. Smash each other. That's awesome. So Bruce Wayne, obviously horse meat diet.
Yeah, obviously a big horse meat eater. Big fan of the horse meat. Yes, but this we've got like the tribute to the Robin in there, of course.
And he passed away. That's the which Robin is that?
I would assume like, well, actually, now that I think about it, wait a second. Hold on, we're gonna find this out. Let me pull this thing up here. When did they have the Robin die thing? Remember they had
these? Yeah, that was that?
Hey Siri, when did Robin die in the DC comics? Let's find out. Okay.
He made regular appearances in Batman-related comic books until 1988, when he was murdered by the Joker in the storyline A Death in the Family.
Death in the Family, that's right.
So this was before that.
This was written before it, but
no, that's what I'm saying. This came out in '86, right?
Right. So they probably used this as inspiration to go back and tell that story.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I guess that is kind of like a pretty simple thing to be like, we're having like Bruce Wayne when he's old and years after he stopped being Batman for a while. That's the whole key of it, is that he stopped. Robin had died. It doesn't really explain too much about like that though. So I like that. But like I guess I never thought about that this came out.
This coloring is great. This coloring is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all, well, that's what I'm saying. The second one, it's there for a reason. Like it's definitely
we're gonna get to it. We're gonna cover that book as well, gang. If you're following the series, previously in a video we did Batman Year One. Now we're doing Dark Knight Returns. And then we're going to do, I remembered it this time, Dr. Ben, The Dark Knight Strikes Again, the sequel that is very universally panned, but we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, everyone hates it. I love it.
We're going to talk about it. That's what I'll put. I'll say most hated Batman question mark. That'll be the thumbnail for that one.
That'll be the draw.
This first issue, sets everything up and it's awesome. But really, for me, this story
has that same callback. That's what I'm saying. It's like it starts off and he's not being Batman,
right.
And it's like then he comes back, and one of the things I don't know why, like I never notice things a lot of times, but through all of his comics, he likes to do all these newscasters, right? He likes to use those,
especially this first issue, heavy on the newscasters.
And they did the same thing in like Spawn, all those comics, cool. But
that's fucking cool right there. Do you think that's where Spawn? You think that's where Todd got it from? You think he was biting on Frank Miller's style to do the newscasters across Image Comics, or was that just like commonplace in all comics after Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah, I mean, I think after like and I'm sure like if someone is like, I'm not like a obsessive detail sort of person, so there could have been other people doing it before this, but I'm sure that kind of like after this, everyone was just kind of like, oh, duh, yeah, of course.
I like that cape. I like the drapery on that cape on the first page, bottom panel, series, third panel. Yeah, that one.
That one.
That's good drapery on the bat cape.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I love Klaus Jansson's work, and I love stuff like that hunched over Batman where the cape is like, just hanging off. That's always just like my ultimate. That's what Batman needs to be doing, brooding on the edge of corner of buildings, ropes.
So he's been pushed. So old man Batman or old man Bruce Wayne has been pushed by what did he get pushed by? That bat smashing through the window, the rising crime in Gotham. Is that what all the talking heads are talking about? All the
crime is all crazy. Yeah, kids are all out of control.
That's what I like about the second issue. In the second issue, he fights a group, a gang of like neo-punks that are awesome. Right? Yeah, it doesn't get going until the second issue.
Oh man! See, look at him, just like it's such a clean look too. It almost has like an Art Deco look.
Read that page. Let's see what's going on in Batman's head here.
Let's see what you got. Cigarettes. No wonder you're so slow. Oh Christ, I can't stand it. I mean it, man. Get away from him. I'll shoot. Don't try it, kid. He's being patient with you as it is. Nice to have you back, Bats.
Is that Gordon?
No, I think these are just two random.
Oh, I guess Gordon's probably dead by now. Because they're not the same age.
I think Gordon's still in this, I think.
Is he? I don't remember.
Go to their car, kid. Fetch the payroll. I don't believe this. It isn't in the car. It's nowhere around here. Pills. No end to your bad habits. Please. Bats, I saw you once back when I was working the East End. I was a rookie, like Schmuckface here. It was a long time ago. At the bank, was there a second car? Car? Yeah, an old jalopy. Didn't think. You weren't supposed to. Anyway, it was a rainy night just like this. I was walking my beat. I mean, I was just a kid back then. And I saw this guy draw a gun on. Tell Gordon we have to talk. Sure thing, Bats, but how is he supposed to get in touch with... Oh, yeah, now I remember. So it is kind of like hitting that kind of like camp, like, gee, Bats, okay, sure thing, fella. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like playing a little bit of that, but it starts... there's something about... I'm not like a real big fan of like these super tiny panels because like they make me like feel like constricted. Like it make me feel like I would be like what is that, claustrophobic or something.
There's 16 panels on the left page and
same thing on the right.
So 16 is 32 panels across these two pages. That's excessive.
But I mean, I think that's kind of like the point. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's kind of like to make when you read, you have to slow down to like read through all these, right? You're going through, and that's the other thing, is this is the new
that's the new Robin.
Spoilers.
But up there in the top left, that's the mutant gang leader, right?
Yeah, that's one of the gang guys.
I think it's the leader.
Well, because I think there's a bunch of them that are all. Well, I guess I'll just flip through ahead to find it. Oh, and this is all got in Arkham or whatever. We got
Joker.
I think this is supposed to be his as like a psychiatrist or whatever while he's in there.
Read that page, or you start with the Joker stuff.
Okay.
I don't think Joker says a word. Oh, there in the last page he does.
So all the other guys have given up on you, boss. But I knew you was going to be okay. You look good. Bet you got some honor. But you got some kind of keen escape planned. Well, you can count. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, you can count on me, but I got a problem. You know, I like to make stuff. It's all I'm good at. Well, Harvey Dent wants to pay me a lot of money to make him some bombs. He needs them tonight. That's if I'm going to make them. I haven't said yes yet. What kind of bombs? I like that. It's like he like thinks about it too. Like
Frank Miller just writes. I mean, he's such a genius writer. He can write characters.
It's like so much of it is like based off of like, you know, kind of like noir, like old like crime movies, like the old like detective stuff and like gangster stuff. Like
40s movies, yeah.
I watch a ton of that stuff, and like you get a lot of that same kind of lingo. Oh, that's the other thing that was controversial or has been controversial is that Batman used a gun. Oh no!
Well,
oh,
how dare he?
But I mean, he looks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's just like the coolest shot. Makes me wish. Awesome. That makes me want to go out and get a gun.
it makes me want to draw that picture. Is what it makes me want to.
Yes. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like he captures in all of this. You know, it's like being able to capture that sense of drapery, of like movement, of like materials, and
it works. You know, it works. It's different than when Frank does himself, which we'll see in the next episode of our Batman series. But that layout and pose is all Frank Miller, and then Jansen on top of it is gives it a different flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when Jansen is just doing himself, it's real rough. You know, like I love the way it looks, but it's like it's real rough looking. But it's like when you put him on top of like, I mean, look at that. That's just
that's clearly that's like a classic Frank Miller pose, and then Jansen doing the inks on it just looks awesome. One of the best shots of the book. I also love over here on the second page the design of the villain here, where he's got the face wraps are white, but then his entire body is blacked out. That's awesome. Look at that silhouette. Look, you know me. I love fucking silhouettes. Look at that silhouette of Batman flying. Oh, that looks awesome. His cape is like 3 times the size of him.
I don't know about his legs there.
A little long for you?
Yeah, it feels like they would be. Well, I guess maybe you'd be like steering yourself with one of them. But yeah, they definitely look at that.
The back leg's a little wonky.
Yeah. Look at. I guess I could bring it up.
Looks like there's an extra leg on his leg.
Yeah, he's the right one. That one.
Like he's got a 6 foot long foot.
But yeah, that is really off actually. Like, but it's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really matter because it's like you're looking through all these, even with this page, you know, you got this one big splash page here, but then you come back to, you know, this pacing like this. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to like, doesn't matter. It's not going to take you out of it. So I mean, that's one of the things that I always think.
It's a lot different than the pacing in like say Daredevil Born Again or Sin City, where it's a lot of splashes in 2-panel and 3-panel pages. He's got a lot of, in this one he wrote a shit ton of panels.
Yeah, like even when he has like two, well, is that 2 panel? No, that's supposed to be one big panel going across the whole top?
I think so.
Or is that supposed to be like...
No, it's two different.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, it's two because that's Batman there. And so then this is kind of like...
But it does kind of look like a tangent where that's the left side of the room and then that's the right side of the room. It works because of the there it just ends in black.
Yeah, so these windows here are actually those. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Those are both like big panels, but like it's still like as soon as he comes back to like these little, just like thumbnail, like poster stamp size panels, it's just like there's something about that just like it gives like a certain sort of like tenseness. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like it's kind of like he's building like anxiety. Having like all these little panels, just panel after panel after panel after panel. And then that's the end. That's what you end with. Jeez, okay.
I don't want to get too far into part 2 here, but just flip through this a little bit. I like the design of Robin a lot there. That's a chick this time, right?
Yes. Carrie Kelly.
I can't believe they gender swapped Robin.
Well, they paid her into a ginger though, so we gained a ginger.
the oppression math balanced out.
Yeah. So that's
gained a gender. Gained a gender, lost a penis.
But she's not supposed to be like.
She's not the official Robin at first. She's just like going into business on by herself. She wants to fight
something that I think is kind of overlooked a lot with this too, is that like it's kind of like a cyberpunk kind of setting.
Oh yeah, no, that's especially in part 2. In part 2, we get this really crazy cyberpunk. The way these this gang of weirdos talks and everything about it is cyberpunk. That's why I love. That's why I love part 2.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, 86, I mean, that's exactly when all that stuff is like you know, there was the cyberpunk authors, William Gibson or whatever, and Bruce Steele. Like that's when both of them were both starting their cyberpunk writing careers. So I mean, it was just, you know, that has to be around the same time as Blade Runner. Akira. The other thing,
what was William Gibson's fucking novel name? I'm blanking.
Neuromancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good book. Really crazy cyberpunk characters in that book.
And it is like so much of them, like with all the cyberpunk kind of setting, is based on how much the media controls things, right? And it's like, not to get political or whatever, but I mean that's what. You look around and that's what everyone says. Everyone complains about how much the media does this. The media does, you know, it's
go back
all the stuff they're complaining about.
That Robin pose, first page.
That upside down.
Love it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the way they draw it.
I think your cricket went to sleep.
Hopefully. Every now and then I'll catch them, and I generally... Sometimes I just forget them in a jar, but I let the last one go. But
you should get a tarantula, feed the... or a scorpion, feed the crickets to him.
Yeah, they've got just such a fun... Like, this is the kind of art that I love. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, this is great. Especially, what's funny because we went through issue 1. I don't want to spend a bunch of time on issue 2. I want to get out of here, but this is my favorite stuff in the Dark Knight Returns. Look at that. That's just a big hulking horse meat eating Batman right there.
He's took many horses to their grave to fill his gut.
Lots of
little view of the city down there. That is such a
lots of equine casualties.
And you know what I mean? Like, look at how like simplistic that is too. When when you pull that up.
Yeah, when you go pulling close, it's just a bunch of cross hatching.
It's just a bunch of just little lines.
Little crosshatch boxes.
Like,
if you pull out, and that's Gotham.
There it is. It's the city. You know, did they call it the city on the hill? No. It looks like a city on the hill though. But what am I thinking? Because I know, like in the like the Lego Batman game and like different Batman, like where you can like go run the map and stuff. There's like an actual canonical map. Oh, look at that thing. But there's a canonical map of.
I feel like this is getting right. I feel like it's getting more Frank Miller and less Klaus Janson as we go. It's like Frank got looser on the layouts, and Janson kind of after that first issue was like, "All right, if you're gonna draw like that, then I'll ink like this," and it's starting to get much more stylized in issue 2.
I could see that. Yeah. He's. Well, I mean, you know what?
See, there he is. That's the mutant gang leader.
You know what I just noticed is that in the next one, Klaus Janson isn't on it. Oh yeah, yeah, that's the leader of the.
I wonder, is he on this one? Could this be Frank by himself?
Oh, are you saying like you're saying in this issue? Well, it's not going to break it down. It's not going to say. That might be. I don't know.
I'll look it up. Look at that fucking bat tank.
The bat tank.
I fucking love it.
It's just so goofy looking. But I love. For me, like I love like when it's just this gritty splatter and just scribbles that just define stuff. Like I love that you can just build up a whole scene and still, and just leave like elements like that, like the stuff in the front. That's just, like a marker or a pen or whatever you made it with. But I mean, it all just completely works, That's what I'm saying. Like,
I love it. Look at that stuff, dude. Look at the mutant up there. Batman. Look at him. And then he's fucking just standing in front of that tank. And the tank is curved down, aimed at him.
Looking out of it, too.
Yeah, like, he's got fucking Batman in there with all his fucking gadgets.
How many buttons and levers and this guy's just, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like absurdism. You know what I mean? Like it brings in just like this, which I mean, that's what's in Batman anyways. Like think of all the absurd villains, Mudface and or Clayface and Killer Croc and this. See in here. Oh, I guess. Is it the second Is it the second series where it has the super version of that where he's like No, it is. It's this one.
No, it's when he fights Superman in the third
issue.
Right? Is it the third or the fourth?
It's the cover is what that was.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Look at that. Is that all Frank Miller or is Janson on that? It's hard to we don't have this information, gang. You tell us, diggers. You tell us in the comments.
Pry it out of there.
How this art breakdown works. So there's.
And everyone has done an homage to this, but I like it because that's him where he's beat up, but this is him like going just look at that grin on his face too. This is it. This is what he's here for. And Frank was all into like the manga too. Like he did a bunch of covers.
Yeah. So isn't one of his, wasn't Fist of the North Star a big inspiration?
Is it? I thought Fist of the North Star more inspired. I should pull up. I have a couple issues of that, but I thought that more inspired like Liefeld. Really, I don't know, because I've got like a whole bunch of Lone Wolf and Cubs that have Frank Miller covers.
Yeah, that's who he was. What he was super inspired by, Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, because the Fist of the North Star is one where it has those super what exaggerated like upper bodies, like that huge.
Oh, yeah. Just fucking crazy shit.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Imagine
we'll have to bust out. I don't own any of them.
You're going through comics and reading all kinds of campy, goofy Batman, and then you find out the guy that was doing Daredevil that made Daredevil really cool. Bubble Yum, of course. But the guy that made Daredevil really cool is coming over to do a Batman story where Batman's old, and you know what I'm saying? Like, this thing is just so bananas. Like it's a cyberpunk book too. What? You know what I mean? Like in '86, you would have just been going crazy. I almost kind of feel like that's like a dig at Scott Summers, Cyclops.
It might be.
like I think Cyclops looks dumb. I'm going to make the dumb like cyberpunk gang all look like Cyclops because I just want to.
Go ahead and skip ahead to book 3. It gets even weirder, even crazier in book 3.
This is almost some of that, like that crazy Keith Giffen art style from Trencher.
Oh, yeah, Trencher. I got all those Trenchers. We're gonna do a Trencher episode. Well, maybe a few.
Oh, I saw some shit. One of the comics I got, maybe a couple of them, but there's one that I got that was a Keith Giffen comic, and he was doing parts of it. He was doing like the outlines and stuff, and there was a bit where it goes into that style, that crazy Trencher style, but it was like him and like other people working on top of him.
Go back. Let's not no-sell that cover.
You don't want to. I want.
Go back for a second. One page. That is a fucking killer Batman face just in and of itself. Hunt the Dark Knight.
It's when you look at it, it's kind of like a goofy shape, like the way his. Like it looks like he's got like a big frown.
It looks like Marv from Sin City wearing the bat cowl. It's like Marv being Batman for Halloween.
What kind of material do you think he's trying to convey on that Batman helmet there? Is it like,
I don't know if he knows. It's as like chipped and aged as he is. He just kind of continues all the lines from the old man face into the cowl.
Just that frown on his face is just so goofy to me. Does it have a different cover in the back? Yeah. So that would have been book 3 in the back. Book 4. I guess he fights Superman in here too.
Yeah, that's when he gets the super suit.
Huh. I can't remember if mine has extra book cover used for the DC edition.
You know what? Dr. Ben, let's leave the rest.
You want to do the rest a little bit
to the diggers.
Yeah, keep digging, guys, because I want to see more of like there's a version of this. If I see it out and about, you don't want to tease the dollar bin diggers with old swastika nipples there.
Swastika tits is awesome. This series, I mean, it just gets weirder and weirder as you go.
Maybe that's why they didn't want. Well, no, they're the bad guys. He's fighting the swastika tits. So how could they be against that? Yeah, we'll let. I want to get the version of this that's like the artifact edition.
Oh yeah,
where it's it's a giant original artboard size, and then it has like pages that are what do you call that? Like clear, they're like plastic films or whatever, where it'll have like the different layers. You'll have like the pencils, and you'll have like a layer with the inks, and then the color. It is just bomb. It's so insane. It's so crazy. That's what I want to get. Or if the diggers find them, if there's a secret stash of those somewhere, let us know.
Let us know. All right, Dr. Ben, you got an event coming up, right?
Hell yeah. I'll be at the Erie Comic Con, September 20th, 21st, and 22nd down the Erie Bayfront Convention Center. I'll be down there with the Ashcan edition. I wonder if I should put in like some of my extra art, like some of my like Ariel 13, the Little Mermaid. I should put in some of my sketches and like work process for that. Cause I love having like ash cans because you can have just like extra stuff. You can have your progress stuff. You can see how a project is developing, because we're going to be launching the Indiegogo for the comic. Hopefully by the time I get to Erie Comic Con, the Indiegogo should be up. I gotta see how that. You have to put in and apply and wait a day or something or other. I hope shouldn't have any problems, but we're gonna find out.
Throw some of your books up there before we get out of here.
But yeah, let me pull over. Got Stanley's Tales of Terror. Where did my other ones go? I just lost all of them. Well, I'll show this off because Stanley always shows up in all my comics. He is a talking rabbit character that works in a comic book shop in the world of dreams, such as like Sandman from Neil Gaiman. Something like that, but it's a comic shop.
Neil Gaiman.
If you could imagine a comic shop that is filled with all the comic books that you've ever dreamt about, or that anyone's ever, imagine all the comics that like Jack Kirby dreamt about, like he dreamt that he could make, or you know what I mean? Like imagine if there was, go and see all those comics in the world of dreams. That is where Stanley works, along with his co-worker, Connie Dates, aka Van Piglet. So all kinds of fun. He has to deal with his ex-wife. Where did his ex-wife thing go? I skipped it. There it is.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love.
He's always coming by. I
love the foot coming around the corner.
Just steps on his car too. It's my ex. She's just a pain. Always coming by. Money. I love it. Oh, she looks like lots of fun. So that's the thing. I try to put lots of like little comic strips that I do. Put them all into the ash cans, and I'll have those, some prints, some stickers, and maybe some T-shirts. I'm still waiting for my T-shirt guy. I don't know what happened to him.
And you can find the link to Dr. Ben's YouTube below. Make sure you like and subscribe over at Dr. Ben's channel, all his fun stuff that he does. And you can go, there's a link to his Substack there where you can download these awesome books. I also am a comics maker, and my newest comics are The Wizard of Ganj, which you can read over at my Patreon page. Link below. It's $2.99 a month, gets you access to all of my comic books, novels, and feature films. Almost 20 years worth of Strangeville storytelling. Wizard of Ganj, the story of the origin story of the Colombian smokeweed, the famous Strangeville, strongest weed in Strangeville. There, you can read the origin story of that, where this wizard, the titular, hang on, let me get me
Tit wizard, the Wizard of Tits,
the titular wizard from the Wizard of Ganj steals Hogan's.
Zoom back in on your wizard there. That's the Wizard of Ganj?
That's the Wizard of Ganj right there.
He just has like a everlasting ganj bag or something.
Well, no, he stole
he's one of those kind of wizards of ganj.
He stole the Colombian smokeweed always just appears in this hole in this tree out in the woods. See, Hogan's recounting this tale to Nixon. Right, okay. And when he went out to get it this time, some little dude snatched it and went, and Hogan kind of does a tug of war and gets yanked into the tree, where he then appears in this magical land.
Okay.
And this little wizard fucking steals his weed and bounces off.
Not cool.
See you later, sucker.
Oh.
And
ask.
Nixon ain't buying that shit one bit. Let me finish the story, dog. And you can finish the story at my Patreon page. I also have Too Many Dabs, where Frankie, the fruit fucker, challenges Nixon and Hogan to a dab smoking contest and accidentally blows his consciousness into outer space, where he has to be shown all the worst things he's done in his life by
I love your cosmic Nixon and Hogan there.
They're machine elves. If you've ever done DMT, you blast your consciousness off into the cosmos and talk to machine elves. That's my machine elf Nixon and Hogan. So you can read Too Many Dabs issues 1 and 2 at the
safely experience psychedelics in the form of comics.
Yeah, safely experience this. Nice. Open your third eye through the art of comics, and then now we'll get the fuck out of here. But my brand new book, Count Kefula, aka Dracula in Strangeville, will be releasing on my Patreon on October 1st. Perfect for Halloween season. Check out what happens when Dracula blows into Strangeville, gets himself a bunch of bitches, and decides that he needs Nixon and Hogan's Colombian smokeweed for himself. So that'll do it for us. I hope you enjoyed our coverage of The Dark Knight Returns, and we will see you at the dollar bin, gang.
Hell yeah, keep on digging.